Have you ever wondered about the vast disparity in wealth distribution across our globe? In a world where resources are abundant, why do some nations flourish while others languish in poverty? Today, we dive into this intriguing matter, exploring the 10 wealthiest and poorest countries in the world. At the pinnacle of affluence, we find the small but mighty Luxembourg. Known for its high-income economy and strong financial sector, Luxembourg has a GDP per capita that far outstrips other nations. A prominent hub for private banking, insurance, and investment funds, the country's wealth is largely due to its robust financial services. On the other end of the spectrum, we find Burundi, a landlocked country in East Africa. Despite its rich cultural history and natural beauty, Burundi is one of the world's poorest countries. Its economy heavily relies on agriculture, a sector that is vulnerable to climate change and price fluctuations in international markets. Next up in the wealth hierarchy is Norway. Norway's wealth stems from a mix of natural resources including oil, gas, minerals, and seafood, along with a well-functioning welfare system and state ownership in key areas. In stark contrast, we find the Democratic Republic of Congo, a country endowed with abundant natural resources but plagued by political instability, corruption, and a lack of infrastructure, making it one of the poorest nations globally. Switzerland, known for its watches, chocolates, and banks, is another wealthy nation. The country's strong economy is driven by a highly developed service sector and a strong manufacturing industry, which specializes in high technology and knowledge-based production. Contrastingly, Mozambique, despite its vast natural resources, finds itself amongst the poorest nations. The country has struggled with civil war, economic mismanagement, and corruption, which have deterred progress and development. In the land of the rising sun, Japan, we find another wealthy nation. Japan's wealth is a product of its highly skilled workforce, industrial sector, and advancements in technology. At the opposite end, Malawi suffers from a lack of development and heavy dependence on agriculture, making it one of the world's poorest countries. Ireland, with its strong economy driven by sectors like pharmaceuticals, software, and medical tech, stands tall amongst the wealthiest nations. On the other hand, Niger, with its economy heavily dependent on subsistence crops and livestock, is amongst the poorest. In the United States, we find a diverse economy that is primarily driven by technology, healthcare, construction, and retail sectors, making it one of the wealthiest countries. Contrastingly, Madagascar, despite its biodiversity and natural resources, struggles with political instability and economic setbacks, landing it amongst the poorest nations. Singapore, a global hub for education, healthcare, tourism, finance, and technology, is another wealthy nation, while Liberia, plagued by civil war and economic mismanagement, finds itself amongst the world's poorest. Lastly, we have Qatar, a country with high-income economy backed by the world's third-largest natural gas and oil reserves, and Central African Republic, a country rich in diamonds, gold, oil, and uranium, but one of the poorest due to corruption and poor governance. Wealth distribution across the world is a complex issue influenced by a myriad of factors, including natural resources, governance, economic policies, and global market forces. The stark contrast between the world's richest and poorest nations underscores the need for sustainable economic policies and practices that promote equitable growth and development. For in a world as advanced as ours, such glaring wealth disparities should give us all pause for thought.